So, what's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is going to be my very first vlogging video, and pretty much just going to introduce myself and give you the background story of pretty much why I started training in the first place and how I got to where I'm at right now, right? So, without further ado, my name is Jonathan Schweit. People know me as John, or they know me as Jay. Obviously, I rebranded myself many times over the years, but I currently go by Dropset John. I think it suits me very well based on my training style. And yeah, I'm a 36-year-old dad. My son is 5. He's about to turn 6 on Thanksgiving. I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years. And I've been a chef for 14 years. I've been working out for about a decade now, straight. And I used to play music. I actually used to sing and like do vocals and everything. And I did that for like, I say from 2017, 18, all the way up until like maybe 2022 was like my last dip into it. And then I just kind of just like gravitated away. Music is still a passion of mine, but like, you know, other things had came up in life more serious, and I found that like the gym and working out, you know, just pulled me in closer, man. It's just, I have more of a connection. It's more of an outlet for me, you know. Music is more of like a passion, something I love. Now, it's not to say that I don't love working out, but like the gym is just more of a therapy, as I will, you know, especially as I became an adult. And I just needed more therapeutic ways to deal with stress and, you know, ongoing problems in life. It just happened to help me. And music, you know, I did a lot more seriously when I was like a teen, when I didn't have that much responsibilities, you know. So, yeah, as you guys could probably understand or have been in a similar situation with another passion of yours, but yeah, that's that. So so a lot of people want to know why I started working out. Obviously, like there's many benefits and reasons why a lot of people may start their fitness journey, but you know, I think we all in our life at least give it a shot and try to put effort into getting into shape, whether it's, you know, for your personal liking, you just want to look better, you know, because you may be insecure, you might not like the way you look, or you may see another person that's in shape and you might get inspired or, you know, or influenced, and you might be like, hey, man, that looks awesome, you know, I want to look like that too. Or you might be the type of guy that, like, you know, you may think that the body you have doesn't suit you best, and you may think like by working out and getting into shape that you're gonna pick up women because you want to be more attractive, and or it may just be like your outlet. So, you know, everybody has a different story. So mine, when I was working out in junior high school, I pretty much only started, I would say I gave it a shot because I used to watch wrestling growing up, you know. Me and my grandfather would always watch wrestling. Rest in peace, my granddad. Yeah, we used to watch wrestling, and I just got inspired by, like, you know, I don't know, Brock Lesnar, Batista, you know, all of those guys back in the day, Ultimate Warrior, and I always thought muscle was cool, you know, so that's why I started working out at home, doing push-ups and everything, because I was like, I want to look like those guys. So my grandfather kind of just like, you know, cheered me on, and he was like, yeah, you got to get strong and everything. And yeah, I mean, that was part of the reason. And then also, like in junior high school, I was just like always a really, really skinny, short, lanky kid, if that makes any sense. Like I had no meat. And I used to get like pushed around and like picked on and bullied, and people used to make fun of me, and I pretty much had this one bully and his name was Monty back in the day, and he used to like take my money. He used to like run my pockets, and he was the bully of like school. Until I stood up one day, and I eventually, gave him a dose of the medicine. But yeah, it was because of that. Like, I started working out in junior high school because I wanted protection. I felt like I needed some kind of defense. I was already trying to work out at home. I just wasn't in shape. But when I actually started working out intentionally, because, it was a purpose. There was like a oomph behind it. I then put on, my forearms, which actually came all the way from junior high school. That was just the first thing that blew up for me. And also, I had some really, really crazy, crazy biceps. I had really good bicep peaks when I was young, and yeah, those are the two things, man. And people used to think I was on juice. I mean, come on, I was in junior high school. Like, how could, what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I didn't even know about steroids or anything back then. But like, the point is that I started working out, and obviously we all have newbie gains when we first start. So you're gonna just put on muscle. Is your body's natural way of like you first responding to lifting weights. Now, if you put on more from there, that's determined by your nutrition, your genetics, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I put on muscle really fast, and it was pretty much my defensive mechanism and my way to cope with being bullied. And I started standing up for myself, and I was getting less and less intimidated by my bully, and I started sticking up for myself, and I started saying no and like resisting, and eventually it started working. And then one day, I believe I threw a trash can at him in the lunchroom, and yeah, I can almost remember like the visual. But I got really strong. I don't remember how old I was. I imagine in junior high school, but I used to go to Huddy up on Nostrand Avenue, and I had my boys Jonathan Scott and Emerson Rollins. Yeah, man, those are my boys right there. And Jonathan Scott has his little brother Jethro, and yeah, pretty much like those dudes could tell you, man. I had crazy arms at that age, and I just got really impressive, and people just used to think I was juiced up. And seeing Brock Lesnar, that was like a big like inspiration for me on wrestling. You know how Brock, he had these huge traps, and he was just huge. So I would always be like, go like this and like imitate Brock Lesnar. When you're a kid, you start acting like people because you start thinking that you're them in your mind and stuff. You go into like this imaginary world, and yeah, that's how I pretty much got through those years. And then I got into high school, and like I was working out a little bit. I guess I put a little bit of size on, but I was also dancing in high school, and like high school didn't go as that well for me. School wasn't for me. I was a freshman 4 times, then finally a sophomore, and I was like, yeah, school is not for me. I was slowly leaving school as a dancer, making money on the side, and I had some muscle just from dancing because I wasn't working out at that time. And then, yeah, the thing is that I still kept forearms, like that, and they were there since. And then I started getting abs because I was dancing. I wasn't training abs, and calves started coming in. So yeah, I mean, I did have a lot of the gains that I had from back then, or at least the potential to have the muscle that I do now. So, and I obviously, you think I was eating nutrition and had a diet plan back then? Like, come on, what are the odds? I'm a young teen. I don't give a shit. I was chasing girls and dancing, and when you're a teen, man, you just don't give a shit about all those things. So yeah, and then in 2016 or 15, going into 16, I started working out because I just got like really, really skinny over the years of me doing music and like hanging out, partying, drinking, smoking here and there with my friends, and like staying up all night for 4 days straight, hanging with girls and going to lounges. And those are my music years. And like that, I was partying a lot. So I got really skinny, dude. And like, I did not look good. I looked frail, especially being a 5'5" teenager. It didn't look good. So, or at least I didn't think it suited me, and I was really insecure. And then I was also like kind of like really feminine. I had a higher pitched voice. I cleaned my eyebrows up. I always like to look clean, but I didn't. Little did I know I was overdoing it, way more feminine than I probably should have. So that was another thing, and back then you don't look at it because you don't know, you're in the moment. But as I look at it now, and I'm like, dude, what the hell was I doing? I was just trying to look over pretty, the biggest pretty boy, but like I overdid it and end up looking way more, girly than I probably should have. Then with the skinny jeans, because I was a dancer, it wasn't a good image for me, And now looking back at it, and so yeah, I was really really insecure because then over these years, from 2016, I was going to Crunch Gym, and I seen this one bodybuilder in there, and he was obviously massive, veins all over the place, and I loved that look. And that dude, it stuck with me. It just immediately went into my mind, and I was like, I want to fucking look like that one day. I'm not playing. So I talked to him, and he gave me advice and so on and so forth. And from 2016 all the way up until now, that's been my fitness journey. But even in like pretty much the reason why also I started the fitness journey is because in 2013, remember I was still skinny, partying, hanging out, music life. In 2013, I lost my grandmother, and I fell into depression. My grandfather was still alive, that I used to live with. And when we lost my grandmother, he just got depressed. I got depressed. I started sinking into a hole. And then it just wasn't good, But it didn't hit me yet. I was like sad, yeah, but like my mind is still in the street hanging out. So I then lived with my grandfather for about a year, obviously, because I then was hanging out once again. And I think around this time, I was like talking to somebody, and I was hanging out one night, right? And basically, like I left their house because I think I like stayed overnight or something. No. I was there from like the morning before all the way, or the night before all the way to like the next night. I was there like with them for like all day, right? Hanging out. So it was time for me to go home because I'm crashing, and I was up for like 2 days. So I went home. Mind you, this is 2014, a year later. I'm living with my grandfather. I go to return home, and I come in the apartment, and my grandfather had a lot of health issues, because there's a lot of health issues I run in my family. But he had a lot of breathing issues, a lot of breathing problems. He was a freaking chronic chain smoker. He had like the intestine issue where they put your intestine over here in a bag. He just wasn't healthy. So anyway, and he was also grieving from my grandmother. So what they say is that when you lose one, the other person gets depressed, and then they go with them. They go down in twos or something like that. There's like an expression for that, and my mom knows it best. But yeah, so I came home, and I basically heard the asthma machine when I walked into the door, because you have to walk through this little hallway to get into like my living room, and you have to pass the kitchen. So I heard the asthma machine. So I'm like, Grandpa. And then I walked in, and then he literally like didn't respond. So I walked in again. I walked past the kitchen, and I see him on the floor with the asthma machine on. I hear the asthma machine on, and I'm like, Grandpa. And I'm like, I see him on the floor, and it didn't register yet. So I go over to him. Something didn't feel right. And then I go to like see if he's okay. I go to grab him, and he was ice cold, man, ice cold. I still remember to this day. Like he literally felt like a piece of beef inside a fridge, which means that the 2 days that I was hanging out and gone, that he died some time ago, and he sat there because he went into rigor mortis already. And dude, it didn't register. I ran up to my aunt's house because I used to live on the third floor. I ran into my aunt's house immediately to the fourth floor. To my aunt Florence. I told her, Grandpa's dead. What? Grandpa's dead. And then I basically, she was like, you know what? She was confused. And then after all the dust settled, my grandfather had died in the apartment, and I guess he couldn't breathe or whatever. And he was left alone, and nobody could. I guess she couldn't contact him. My phone was dead, and yeah, man. And then that was the news. Once my grandfather died that night or that morning, I flipped the fuck out, and I literally started bursting into tears. I started punching the glass, punching the mirror in my apartment, this big dick mirror. I opened the door after already having a busted up, sliced open hand. I opened up the apartment door because it was like one of those metal ones that like slam hard. I opened up the door, it bounced off the closet behind it in the hallway. And as I was leaving, like storming out, the same hand that I just busted up was in the doorway, and the metal door slammed it right in the frame. So then I got pissed off as a reaction to that, still like exploding because I'm flipping out of what's going on and I can't take it no more. I'm overwhelmed. And I then go in the hallway where like those, like, those what do you call it? Those windows that have like those diamond wire things. And I just started lashing out at the window, bashing it, dude. And then my knuckles were showing. This all was ripped up, and it just was a bad night, man. I couldn't take it no more, man. I was like, and, but yeah. So basically after that, after my grandfather passed, I was dealing with somebody, and I was just like in a bad relationship at that time too. And I was just holding on to somebody that just wasn't good for me anyway, because of me losing my grandmother. I needed to fill in that void of love. And I thought that the person I was with like loved me. I thought that was the person for me, but I just was really oblivious to the negatives of being with the person. And like, yeah, so then I held on to them the whole time. And then when my grandfather passed, I really started seeing their true colors, and they started changing up. And then I started waking up, being more aware. And then I was just dealing with a toxic, I wasn't in a relationship with the person anymore, but I was then just still messing around with them, I could say. And that was another thing. Then my apartment got robbed. Something happened with like my cousin and like other family that we so-called cousins. And then my apartment literally got robbed. They came in, other people snuck in through the window. They literally cleaned me of all my video games. They cleaned me. They cleaned my wardrobe. They took all my chef knives. I'm telling you, like, dude, all these things are happening back to back. My grandmother passed in 2013, 2014, my grandfather passed away. Toxic, bad relationship, being cheated on and being lied to. Then my apartment gets robbed, and it's like this, it's just too much for me, man. I broke my hand. I lost the job that I had gotten because I couldn't work. They wouldn't let me work. And downward spiral. It just kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I moved to my mom and her ex-fiance, my stepfather. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened with that. And then like over the years, obviously I was already working in the kitchen. I started working in the kitchen, thankfully, because my stepfather put some like structure in my life, and he introduced me to the restaurant business in 2011. I started as a dishwasher, then I moved up to prep, and then I moved up to the hotline as a cook. So that's how that started. So, you know, obviously 2014, I was still working in the restaurants, and then I broke my hand. I lost a job. So then my stepfather was like, "Come on, let's just move with us," you know. And I couldn't hold the apartment down at my grandmother's no more. It just got too much. It was just all of that at once, man. It just like, you know, I needed to find an outlet. But anyway, I still didn't find an outlet. I was still doing music, so it kept my mind like okay, you know. It was kind of like buying time. Then I was working in a I don't want to say nightclub, but like a bar lounge thing, and I just wasn't happy already with my life. I wasn't happy with the job, and I got introduced to like Molly, and you know, Molly basically, if you guys know, is a party drug, and you take it, you get happier. Obviously, you know, you're distracting your mind. And why do people do drugs? They're trying to feel better. They're trying to escape the reality. They're trying to buy time, you know. And it's like obviously that's never the good route. So yeah, I started taking Molly, and I did that shit for like a month, and then or something like that. I was eating it, drinking it, sniffing it. I was hiding the shit under my couch at my mom's house, and one day. And obviously I started getting really skinny, bro. I was already getting skinny, but like that hit rock bottom. I'll pull up some pictures. My freaking, this was all like caved in, sunken in. Started getting death face, you know? And hey, I just wasn't doing good. I didn't really have good plans. I didn't really have, you know, good head on my shoulders. I was doing music, but like I was also hanging around with a lot of bullshit people. Just people that probably weren't good for my circle. They didn't really have no good motives. And so, yeah, one night I'm hanging out and I overdosed on the Molly because, you know, I was hanging out with somebody and I forgot how much, I forgot I put all my Molly stash into water because you could drink it also. And I was only supposed to take like a few sips. And I ended up drinking the whole freaking bottle of all that Molly, bro. I mean, it must have been like, honestly, like, I must have put like, I don't know how much those bags weigh, but like if there's like a bag this big, you know, let's say like this phone case right here is like half of that is the bag. I literally dumped that whole thing into the water, so it tasted obviously the harshest shit you could ever taste because it's that much and it's not diluted that much. So I literally slammed that whole thing and I overdosed. And I was like, oh shit, I noticed it after it started hitting me. So I left from that person's house. I got on the train. I started shaking. I called my cousin, like, hey, my cousin George. I was like, hey, cuz, I don't know what to do. I think I took too much Molly. And I was like this on the train. And he was like, yo, come. You need to like smoke. You know, you need to smoke to like get it to calm down. So I went with him, and that's a whole other story. I'll tell you about that in another video. Funny story, actually. So we went to go smoke so I could calm it down. And then, bro, being high off of Molly, because it gives you energy, and being tired and slow off of K2, my body didn't know what the fuck to do. I was literally tripping, and I'll get another video where my cousin will be in it, and he could tell you, like, to be the witness of, like, I was doing some shit like this when I was high. I couldn't stop moving my fingers. And I was telling him, like, cuz, I don't know what's going on. He's like, it's your nerves, bro. And basically, we basically went to his house, my aunt's house. And then I stuck my head out the window to get air because I couldn't breathe. Like, both of the drugs were, like, you know, messing me up. And then, so I'm high off of K2. K2 is another one that's really, really bad. You know, they market it as incense. Like, you can get that up in Harlem. I don't know if you still can, but back in the day. And K2, a lot of people, like, there's people that tried that shit one time, man, and they literally, like, their mind, they're gone. They're a zombie. They talk to themselves. They get schizophrenic, and then they can't even function. They're walking around, like, mindless. I've done it a few times, and thankfully, you know, I guess God had a better plan for me. He protected me, man. I lost a lot of memory, but like I'm still here, you know, so thankful for that. But yeah, so I have my head out the window now, and my chest is up against the radiator. This is like, I believe, wintertime because the radiator was on, blasting, like those straight metal radiators without the case on it. And I'm literally like cooking my chest, and I don't feel it because my head is out the window. I'm getting air, and my cousin's like, "Yo, you're cooking yourself, bro." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't feel it." He's like, "Dude, get off the radiator." And then I just started. It started going even more downward from there. The longer it went, then he helped me return home to my mom's house and my stepfather's house, and then my mom seen me, and then it was finally revealed that like I did all these drugs, due to depression, and it just, I couldn't take it no more. It was my way of like copping out, and basically she tried to give me like the asthma machine so I could start getting oxygen, and it wasn't working. So then she called like the ambulance, and the paramedics came, and they were trying to help me, and then my mood started changing because of K2. I started flipping out. Next thing I know, I'm being carried out the building, ambulance. All I remember is whoop whoop whoop, and then I wake up. I open my eyes. I'm in the hospital, and I'm in the emergency room. I'm on like tubes, IV, and I remember the very few faces that were there, the realest people that actually cared about my life. They showed up, and I still remember them to this day. I love them, and I'm always gonna appreciate that, y'all. But anyway, and then yeah, I got out of the hospital. The doctor was like, "Hey," because they sent me up to the psychiatric ward, because when you do that stuff, the doctor wants to evaluate you. And the doctor was like, "Hey, do you love yourself? Or do you hate your life or something like that?" And I was like, "Doc," I was like, "I don't want to hurt myself." Honestly, I was trying to look for something to boost my serotonin because I'm going through like crazy depression and I don't know how to battle it. And honestly, like, no. I was just trying to mask my depression and trying to just, I didn't know what else to do. So I had a little talk with him. I got out the hospital. That day, when I left that fucking hospital, they gave me a pill. It's called a Valium. It's like to like calm you down or whatever. After that day, I've never done K2 again. I've never done Molly again. I smoked and drank over the years, but like to this day, I don't. I despise both drinking and smoking. But like after I left that hospital, I've never done those shits again. And I was like, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna find something. That's when, dude, I was really, really skinny, and I was really insecure. That's when my bones started hurting, and like my hands. I started getting like these hand problems that I have. I know I tell you guys a lot that I have. I don't know. It's not carpal tunnel because it's not the wrist, but it's like these hand, they get like cramped, and like they do this sometimes, and then I can't, like, it's really hard to work out. But yeah, I then found the gym. That was now 2000. I don't remember what year that was that happened with the hospital thing, but straight into the gym after that, because it was just the way it happened was that I was promoting my music, and I wanted to go to the gym anyway because I didn't like the way I looked. So I wanted to try to change how I looked. And I was also keeping busy with music. So now I was trying to come back to being this pretty boy again, right? And I was like, you know what? A little bit less feminine than the previous years, but I was like, I want to be the ultimate fucking pretty boy. That's when I was like growing my hair and shit like that. And my hair was like down to here. So, and then I just met one of my, I call him my mentor, one of my good friends, William Nico. He's a former professional bodybuilder and natural bodybuilder. I seen him in the gym when I met him, and that was like years ago. Dude, I got so inspired because I've never seen somebody's core and abs look so crazy and so diced, and he had like the fucking the obliques, and they were all like, I don't know if I have them right now, but he had like all the obliques and all that stuff, and he was peeled, like he was like competition ready. I met him, bro, and that was my other inspiration. And from there, I just started, that's when I really started zoning in on my fitness journey. And then that's how that became, man. The gym became my therapy. It was my outlet. It was my way of dealing with depression. Anytime I would get sad, and anytime I would basically get like mad, all my emotions, I'd go to the gym, and because I hated my body, I would like just despise it so much. I would use that fuel, and people were always like, "Oh, you're skinny. Oh, you can never be a bodybuilder. You could, it's just a bunch of like, what do you call it? There's like just like a bunch of like emotions going on. I hated my body already. Then I got bad feedback. Then I started seeing people around me in like really, really good shape. And then it was just like, oh yeah, all right. This is it. That's it. I snapped one day. And I really just started locking in. And that's my story behind why the gym was therapy for me. You know, when I was younger, it was to help me counteract bullying, and it was to help me cope with bullying and stand up for myself, obviously, to act like a tough guy. And in my mind, I thought I was Brock Lesnar in junior high school, and put on muscle. And then over the years, I lost it, from depression and doing drugs and doing dumb shit, hanging out and having like a semi-music career that just put me down a bad path with the wrong people. And then after my grandmother and my grandfather passed, I went into deep, deep depression. And then I started doing Molly, smoking some weed, drinking. I was doing it all, but Molly and K2 was like the top of the line, messed me up, sent me to the hospital. And then, I pretty much just started doing that, working out, and that was it. And then also, like, over the years, I stopped drinking anyway, and I stopped, like, I was never really a smoker. I only smoked when someone sparked me up, or like I would do it as a social thing, but I never really liked weed my own self. I still don't like it. I actually hate it. And my girlfriend's like, why are you being a hater? I understand that, like, 95% of the population smoke weed, and everybody has their differences. I'm one of the person that you can't convince me, and you can't justify why it benefits more than it don't. Because I think if your mind is right, you don't need it. Because I know a lot of people smoke weed because, it helps them relax. It helps them de-stress. It helps them focus. But you can do these things already. If your mind is sharp and you get your mind right, bro, this is the most powerful muscle right here. And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys. I was able to do it based on seeing the people around me. I also just don't like the smell. It's like a pet peeve to me when I smell weed, and I pass somebody and it's like, spray yourself with some cologne, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, whatever. I mean, you don't know what that person's going through at the moment. Obviously, if they're using it for therapeutic use, to calm down and de-stress, then who am I to judge? Because I've had my fair share of doing things to try to, like, soothe and get through these hardships. But like, yeah, man, like I said, this is the strongest muscle. And if I was able to do it, because I understand that the brain is that powerful and you can use it. The brain, bro, is unlimited. There's literally no limit. There's no cap. You are your limit. You have the ability to use that, bro, and outsmart everybody. And there's just so much potential. Like, it's never ending. Like, people say that, life is what you make of it. And if you think that, like, that you have to be controlled, you have to live a certain way, that's your mind, like you're being negative, and like your mind, you can do anything you want to, bro. I'm telling you, it has to come here. You have to decide, and you have to tell yourself, like, this is it. I'm going to make a change. And if it's like, it could be, hey, I don't want to live this way no more. You know, I don't want to keep smoking. Like, what's the reason? I have an unnecessary expense of spending on weed and smoking just to deal with stress. But I could buy rhodiola, a supplement that helps me calm down and feel good. Or I could go to therapy and talk to somebody. Or I could find an outlet, whether it's music, whether it's the gym. And of course, I'm going to push people towards the gym because the gym is my outlet to deal with stress, you know? But it's all from up here, man. It's not going to come from smoking. It's not going to come from pills. It's not going to come from drinking. That's just going to fill in the void at the moment. It's going to make you feel good. But the problems are still there. You cannot run from them. You have to deal with them. The way you deal with them, you strengthen this. You decide, this is how I'm going to act. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to try to be positive. It might be hard. It might not be as fast as you wanted to, but you can change these things. And yeah, man. And I've helped a lot of people quit smoking. Not that this video is about that, but it's just I'm aiming in a way of like trying to show people that you can change. I've changed. I stopped doing Molly because it was masking pain, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is stupid. I'm wasting money to feel good for the moment, to escape life and my problems. But the real way is to stop doing it all and get this right. And I found that one thing that is therapeutic for me. And same thing with drinking. People become alcoholics. Obviously, it's feeling good, but they're probably not happy with themselves. You know, I know a lot of chefs, which is actually funny because that's the industry I'm in. They all become alcoholics because they're there all day, every day. And it's like, you're barely home. Now, because you're barely home, you start having problems at home with your family and your marriage. And then it's like, then you drink more because, you know, and it's like, so it's like a chain reaction. You drink because you're having problems. So you need that thing to like relieve your mind. Then you go to work. Then you're at work so much you're tired and you're burned out that you need a drink to like, you need a little lift. And it's like, that's another way alcohol, is used for like that. And then other people just drink. It's okay to have a drink, you know. Hey, do your thing. But it's like, if the expense of you buying this item, whether it's smoke or whether it's drinking or whether it's pills, whether it's something, if it is outweighing the benefits of like your mind not getting right, you actually feeling better, and you being able to deal with these problems, then it's not worth it. And that's just my opinion. And I hope you guys could also think about that. And maybe like if it's applicable in your life, and you know, you can get through these hardships too. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the background story of why I started working out. And then yeah, I use I use it as fuel. And then another reason, like I said, I don't I don't like the smoking thing because, again, I don't need it because I have my therapy. So that's the reason why. I also I'm a caffeine junkie, so I like moving. I like flying, and like weed just like it I always see that it relaxes people, and it's like, I don't want to be relaxed. I want to be flying. I want to be bouncing off the fucking wall. I want to go from A to B, from Brooklyn to Manhattan. I just want to fucking, like, if I had superpowers, it would be sonic speed to like that's me, bro. I can't sit still. And it's like, I'm always thinking of like, let me start a project right here. Oh shit, another project I'm gonna do. Let me start this, but I leave this project here. I start on that project, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, but what about tomorrow? Oh, shit, I gotta edit photos. I gotta work on this video. Shit, I gotta make this meal. I gotta calculate I'm always fucking thinking, bro. And that's another way of also like, being able to deal with, stress. Keep your mind busy. Because if you're just sitting there and you're depressed, telling you, bro, sitting there in depression and soaking it in is the worst thing you could do. You got to keep your mind busy. And I understand it can be hard because, again, I've been there. And when you're depressed, you don't want to get up and do things. But luckily, before the depression, I was already doing a lot of activities, like a lot of recreative things, a lot of artful skills and talent stuff that I always have something to do. So try to engage in as many activities and talent gigs that you can, and you'll always have something to keep your mind running, you know what I'm saying? And just try to keep positive people around you, and yeah, man. And then that brings me to the other point of why I don't drink. Obviously, because I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm older now. I'm 36, and I'm actually starting to feel it now. But I feel really good because I don't smoke and drink. But I also don't drink because I'm wasting money to feel okay for the moment, to feel like shit tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. And then it's like, I don't drink because I got a lot of friends and family that drink and can't handle it. And then like all the people in my family drink and has had problems. And it's been a nightmare of me dealing with drinkers in the family. And I gotta say, I fucking hate drinking. I fucking can't stand it because I got a lot of alcoholics in my family and I've dealt with that shit. And it's like, I don't want to be like my family. Well, not like, not talking about my girlfriend and my son, but like, my actual like blood. Well, I mean, they're my blood, but you know what I'm saying? Like uncles, aunts, like, I don't want to get too personal, but like, I come from a family of alcoholics and I didn't get fucking pushed and influenced to do that shit. Not from them. I didn't want to be like them, so I made my mind. Again, coming back to making the mind. Getting the mind right. I was like, I don't want to fucking be like this family. And that's why I stay away from a lot of people too. So I made that. I made my mind a long time ago, and still to this day, I stay true to that word. I don't want to be like my family. I don't want to be like my father. My father was a cokehead. I barely know my father. I only know him like 1 year in my life, literally. And I met him, I can't exactly remember, but like when I was 15, I finally met him. He finally met me because he didn't even know that he had me. And my mom took me to go see him. And then, we met and we were just alike, looked alike. And I will say that I do get the talent and the hand crafty work from him, and just always trying to do something and always trying to hustle. I do get that from him, so I guess that was one of the good traits. I also get I get the musculature from him because he was fucking ripped. So I guess there's some genetic component there. And then we our personality kind of alike, and I met him, and shortly just to find out when I was 15 that he was like doing coke. And he was like smoking, drinking, and like just doing like drugs. And like I was like, yeah, that's a downward spiral. I don't want to be like him. And I made my mind. Still to this day, that's another reason why I don't want to smoke and drink, because he's one of the reasons why I want to be better, And I think that's something you should always aim for, being better. Not saying that you're better than somebody, because who am I to say that? But just try to be better, and or better than their situation, And so drinking and smoking, the fuck with it. I don't need it. And I hope you guys can also understand where I'm coming from, and you guys can apply that in your life, or at least try to change your mindset, because I think it will really help a lot of people. A lot of these problems it comes from like psychology, and it can be an overwhelming thing, man, when you can't battle depression. But that's basically my story. This wraps it up for this video of why I started training, right? And my purpose behind it. I hope you guys like it. Please like, subscribe, comment on this video. Please write in the comments what you would like to see next. I already have a few ideas, but this will be the first vlogging video. I'm out. Until next time.